Good morning, it's Sean Price with Price & Price Realtors with this week's market report. Again, these numbers come specifically from McLean, Virginia, Great Falls, Virginia, Vienna, Virginia, and the Tysons area. So the market is continuing to remain kind of steady, just like it did last week. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, we saw a steady 30% increase for 2 weeks in a row, and that 30% increase was in overall market activity. The last 2 weeks, we've seen it kind of even off at that last level of increase. So for the last 7 days, we've seen an increase in new properties coming on the market. These are new to active properties and properties that came back to active. We saw an increase of 4.5% of those properties coming on the market. As far as buyer activity, it remained very, very steady. We saw a 0% increase in properties that went under contract or properties that went into pending. So basically what happened is we had a slight increase in inventory. Buyer activity stayed just about the same. Now overall, our absorption rate, or basically how many properties went under contract versus how many properties were added to the market, remained into a strong seller's market situation. So basically, last week we were at 127% of properties that went into contract or went into a pending status versus properties that were on the market. This week that came down just a little bit, about 5%. About 6%. We're at 121% absorption rate. So it's still a seller's market, even though this week it's a little bit less of a seller, or this last week it was a little bit less of a seller's market than the week before. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 7 days, to see if we stay steady again, if we get an increase. We're starting to go into the end of the summer market, which traditionally in this area tends to slow down a little bit, but we don't know what's going to happen since our spring market has been pushed back because of COVID. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks. I will keep you posted, and we'll post a new market review next week. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll see you on the next video.